Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear viewers everywhere, I greet you with the best greeting that ever known to humanity. The greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Let's see together this picture. Wonderful. There are two pictures today. They are connected in one topic. Let's see the first picture now. As you can see that it's the climbing of a mountain. Yes, someone is climbing the mountain. We're not focusing on the climbing act itself or the mountain itself. Rather, we are focusing on the ambition of that person, that he wants to move to the top point or the highest or the summit of the mountain. As you can see that it's a very hard work. It's a very industrious work. It's not an easy job. It's very risky. A person may lose his life. However, it shows something. It shows a lot of things that everybody can learn from. It shows that the person has high aspirations and he wants to make a great achievement. Yes, it is an achievement, because unless we go and explore and search, we will not learn a lot in this life. We want to make this life a better place, and this can be done by exploration. And this person is doing something, and I think everybody can learn from. You should aspire, you should look up, don't look down. And if you're not trained, if you're not used to do great things that are above your level, and you do your best and you exert an effort, and this is exactly the meaning of jihad and mujahada. You exert an effort in order to reach higher level. And by the way, compare this with the other picture. Let's see the other picture, where if you look into it, you will find in the bottom of it a person is in between, is in the bottom of the mountains, and the mountains are surrounding him. If you go back and forth between the two pictures, there is a wonderful line of poetry in Arabic that the meaning of it, it says that whoever is scared or whoever is not used to climbing mountains, he will always live in holes on between mountains. You will never see the whole world. You will never get a bigger picture if you are down. If you do not climb and go up, you will not learn as others. In fact, this is one of the beautiful meanings that you will find that it's embedded in many places in Islam, whether it's in the Quran or in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ taught the Muslims that you need to aspire for the best and for the better. Don't accept whatever is available. The Prophet, for example, ﷺ, taught the Muslims the first lesson: don't be pleased and satisfied with this worldly life that you are living in. It's something considered as too minor in comparison with the major thing that's in later life. That is paradise. That's why the Prophet ﷺ asked each one of us, وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ, as the Holy Quran taught the Prophet ﷺ and taught us. So in everything that you have, try to gear it and direct it towards later life, towards paradise, towards the eternal place that you will live in, towards the greatest success that you can achieve. Don't be pleased with that life, even in paradise itself. As we know that there are many ranks in paradise, and the Prophet ﷺ taught us to aspire for the highest rank. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ فَاسْأَلُوهُ الْفِرْدَوْسَ الْأَعْلَى. If you ask Allah to grant you the highest place in paradise, Al-Firdaus, Al-Firdaus al-A'la. This is a very beautiful meaning that teaches Muslims to aspire for the best. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and taught the Prophet ﷺ in many places that to encourage the Muslims, to encourage people to perfect their work. Because if you perfect your work, right, you will aspire for something better and better and better, and to compete with other people in this. And so the issue of competition in order to achieve the highest, and the highest is unknown. It's always because some people, when you compete with them, they may go a little bit higher than you, and they may become before you, and that's why you need to all the time do your best. It's not something that you do once forever. No, it's an ongoing process. Again and again. Yes, we have many examples in the history of Islam. I'm not going to talk about the past history of Islam. I'll begin with the modern history of Islam. There are many cases you would find a young girl or a young boy. I know one of them in Texas, for example. She was 7 years old, and her mother helped her to complete the memorization of the Holy Quran at the age of 7 years and a half. Just try to imagine. It's unbelievable. People, when they hear that, they can't believe it. I know the family myself. And this is not just one example. There are many examples. The family pushes and motivates the child. And the child is so motivated to memorize the whole Quran, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to finish the completion, to complete the memorization of almost 600 pages in such a short time. There are many people who are at this age waste their time playing just for the sake of fun. Yes, you still can have some fun, but still you can utilize this wonderful age, because if you miss it, you miss it. The older we get, the more it becomes difficult for us to memorize. And you know the status of the person who memorizes the Quran in the Day of Judgment. So this is an example in modern history. And we see many examples, all of us in our families or in the extended family or around us in the Muslim community. We see these examples that all of us are proud of. Look at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the companions. Look at Imam al-Bukhari, the one who wrote the book. His famous book is the Sahih al-Bukhari. It's the most authentic book on the earth written by a human being. This is the book of al-Bukhari. Just try to imagine. Almost every Muslim knows the person and memorizes something of his book, because of the value of it, because it's the content of it, because it's the saying of the Prophet ﷺ. It's the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, said by the language of the Prophet ﷺ. So valuable that this person was so ambitious to collect all the hadith, the sayings and the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ in that golden book. No other book written by a human being is either close to that book, because it's so valuable. Look at Bilal ibn Rabah radiallahu anhu. He committed himself to do 2 rakahs, and every time he makes wudu, he would make 2 rakahs. Try to imagine how many rewards he's going to get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Islam invites you to be ambitious and to do something for your later life. This is where the most valuable thing that we are waiting for. Every Muslim, his heart or her heart is connected with that place, with paradise, where you can live with those prophets and messengers of Allah and the righteous people, and you have a life of eternity there with no pains, and there is nothing that you suffer from. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us the highest place in paradise. Ameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Oh